Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jay Do and Jesse here for our weekly AMA. That means Ask Me Anything. So if you are joining us here in just a few minutes, this is what it looks like if you watch the replay. Because I'm sure nobody's on our YouTube channel yet, but welcome to the Cash Compound's weekly Ask Me Anything hour, where on Thursdays, 3:30 Eastern, we jump in for your topics, your questions and concerns regarding this concept, the infinite banking concept. Jesse, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you, brother.
Okay, and we've got our fellas and friends and family members over there on TikTok. What's up, TikTok? Let's put that in a better position for you.
I was just trying to make sure that you could get in it.
Well, you're going to have to rotate that back and forth some, so it's all you, man. So what's up, everybody? Let us know where you're TikToking in from today. We got money on the table. Let us know what you want to talk about regarding the save and spend system. We teach the infinite banking concept here on this channel, and so what that means is we're guiding you through how to become your own banker. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Jay Do, and for the... Oh, I thought I was on the second time today. No, I think it's the first time today. I am here, back with you. Welcome to our YouTube family. If you have questions, comments, and concerns, go ahead and lock us down by putting it in the chat, and then we are forced to respond to you and get in a conversation to help you with this cash call, this cash conversation, this cash conundrum that you might be in right now in your situation. It might be debt. It might be investment opportunities. It might be savings for retirement. All of that just might be solved if you become the banker in the situation. So double tap on the screen if you like, love, or learn something we've got right here to our TikTok audience. And you can always click the link right here. Click the Banking Bros logo up here and click the follow button somewhere right here. And that's going to put you toward our profile. On our profile, there's links. The save and spend system is there. And you can watch our full length presentation. It's almost a feature film starring you and your money.
I would say it's one of my favorites. What's up, Elizabeth?
What's up, Liz? Okay. Oh, stop, Liz. Stop. Okay. I wish Liz lived closer. We'd probably be getting a lot done in-house if she could come see us.
For sure.
Don't you think?
For sure. It's good to see her on, though.
Okay. What we got out there? Ken has got a question or comment or concern. Jesse, what is it? I'm a little.
How do I plan ahead to properly think like a bank? Oh, my goodness. I like this question already.
Okay,
think like a banker and pay off debt. Awesome, Ken. So that's where I got my start. So I love that you're even asking questions about thinking instead of just starting with the tool itself per se. So I would say speed up your thinking about banking by getting a hold of this book along with that presentation that's in the bio link for the thinking part of it. Because we're not told in school, at home, work, nowhere else to think like a banker. So get a hold of this Becoming Your Own Banker book. It's on Amazon. We have links for that as well on our website. And watch our presentation. After that, jump on here. And you're still here. You're here now. So ask more questions if you do have something specific. But speed up your learning curve there. Then ask questions and then get started.
All right. Yes. Now, when I was proposed with this question of becoming my own banker, how do I do it? Why would I want to? I had to ask myself that second latter half question a couple times. Why would I want to? What is being the banker? Like, how do I think through that? What is going on? And through my first reading of that book, the 5th edition of the Becoming Your Own Banker book Jesse just showed from R. Nelson Nash, we highly suggest it. I did not pick up on everything about banking.
Yeah.
Early. I did not. Was not a fast picker-upper on this because I probably thought of this trick or tactic being a growth strategy. Thought it was an investment tool. So it's a good question. You've got to frame your mind around the F word, and the F word is finance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to scare you out there if there's any kids watching. Just finance. It's okay, Mom. It's a good channel.
Good channel.
For Junior to be watching. Shout out to my friends on the Zoom link. Kenneth, what's good? Did you just talk to Kenneth earlier?
That's a text. We've been texting today.
Okay.
Yep.
What's up,
Yep.
Kenneth? I did not put on my headset yet, but neither of you are unmuted. If you do unmute, let us know. If you don't unmute and you do have questions on our Zoom channel, we are going to show you a few things coming up in a second. Our YouTube audience will see it as well. TikTok, you're just along for the ride. We have the 3-cup setup on the table, but we are going to see some slides on our YouTube live audience as well as our pre-registered Zoom channel friends.
I think Ken might be on both these channels at the same time. And that's wild. That's what I was double checking. I love it.
Well, he's going to be able to see.
Okay, and that would make sense. I knew that's not a normal question we're getting on TikTok. So I thought so. Okay, good for you. Yeah, get in the book.
Okay, cool. So we have a way to think about this that I often do for my TikTok audience, but you don't often see the slides. So Jesse and I are going to punch through the slides for those of us who can see it, and it is one of our presentation frameworks, called the 4 Eyes presentation. The 4 Eyes presentation. It's going to kill me.
Can I go ahead and give them the 4 eyes?
Go ahead and give us the 4 eyes. But if you're on TikTok, go ahead and put 4 eyes right here. 4, 4, 4, 4. All right. 4, 4, 4, 4. No. I. I'm sorry. There's 4 of them.
Yep.
Go ahead and put that in the chat. If you're here for the first time, this is going to be a great framework so you can learn infinite banking. Okay. We've got some other comments, questions, concerns. Anything productive?
Yeah, it remains to be seen.
Okay. Okay, the 4 eyes, Jesse. Tell us what the 4 eyes stand for.
Yep.
And we'll walk through them piece by piece.
Yeah, so let's start with income. Real obvious, right? We all experience cash flow in some way, working for ourselves, job, career, business, whatever that looks like. Income is the first eye. Insurance is the second eye. We have insurance on all the common things. We'll take the deep dive here in a second. But the cars, the homes, the phones, it's normal. Insurance is normal. Then there's going to be interest, meaning the money type of interest, not just interested in it. We're interested in interest.
We are. We are.
And
but what is that, a homonym? 2 different words?
I don't know. I didn't teach
Different
English.
definitions, not a homonym.
I actually learned more English or more about English by studying Spanish. I think that's one of the benefits of learning a foreign language. And then the fourth is going to be investing. And lots of people do ask us about investing, so we will get there to addressing it. Those are the 4 eyes.
Love it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, put income in the chat out there. Income. When we are talking about the infinite banking concept or becoming your own banker, we got to realize that our income is the outcome we want. I heard that phraseology yesterday from a big-time annuity salesman in Colorado, and he said, hey, remember, income is the outcome that we want. So he was talking about a lot of times people are using like annuity ideas and that type of tool and asset class for retirement. And so that's what he focuses on. But income is the word here, and we have got to realize this is why income starts us off in the 4 eyes, is because income is crucial to getting the things that you want. Jesse, help me out. See if you can get a TikTok audience member to tell us, how would you define or describe money? If you had to describe money, what is it? What is it good for? Absolutely.
Okay, y'all put that in the chat.
Yeah. What would you say? Put it in the chat over here. Derek, what do you say? What is income? What is money?
What is
the
money?
Definition?
Your
whatever.
definition of money.
I'm going to try to prove my point by this. Let's see if we can come up with some definitions of money.
I think it's one of the necessary fundamentals to actually think about, because it's one of the things kind of like gravity, kind of like air. We have it, we experience it in some way, but we don't actually think about it.
Speaking of high school and high school math, I know you were an English teacher in high school. Spanish teacher. I don't know what you were. I didn't go to your school. Okay. Is a point, a line, and a plane. You remember that from geometry?
Okay. Yep.
Those are kind of like the basic fundamentals of geometric shapes, I guess, something like that. And they said the problem is a point and a line and a plane are actually not definable.
Interesting. I'm
Something
listening.
like that. If I'm remembering back to the 2000s. Y'all be aware. I was born last century. A point, a line, and a plane.
Way back in the 1900s.
Right, are hard to define, so we do need to define money. Do we have anything out there? Is anybody defining money yet?
No, they're still jumping on term versus whole life insurance instead of giving us a definition. Hey, term versus whole life. What's money? What is money? Okay, Derek says a way of money coming in, right? That's income, like it. How would you define money out there? Liz, you got anything for us if you're still on YouTube? Will, if you're still in there, could you
make the YouTube comment section bigger? Oh yeah, cool. If there's a way to keep that popped up, that'd be cool. But just in case someone types, if they don't type, maybe you don't have to. Okay, money, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to define it so we can move on. Jesse, tell us about it if you like this idea. It's a means of the exchange.
Yeah, means of exchange.
The reason I say that is because the money is not what I eat or wear or drive. The money is what I use to get the wealth that I require. I require the food that nourishes my body. I require the vehicle that gets me places. It's not the money. I got rid of the money, actually, so I could get the
stuff.
item.
Yeah,
the stuff.
The good or the service. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason we've got income as our first of 4 eyes, welcome everybody. The 4 eyes presentation is what we're walking through, is because income is super important. That's an eye for you. It's important. It's really important because the dollars get us. The dollars make the sense. The dollars are what we need to go get everything else. So the reason that we talk about this next eye the way we do, because it's quite a jump, I think, to get to insurance. The second eye is insurance, is because the money is so valuable. What we use, what we buy with our valuable stuff is insurance.
I think it's downright imperative.
Love it. You guys love that? Okay, so what we're going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to keep our dollars because insurance buys us what? If we go to Jake at State Farm and he has the insurance store and we walk in, we give him money, what is it that we purchased?
Protection, coverage, benefit.
Oh, yeah. And if our important item we have insurance on goes away, what does the insurance company give us?
Death benefit for life insurance.
For life insurance.
For life insurance.
But what is death benefit? It's
money.
Money.
It's a replacement of that income that would have been
They give
there.
us new money. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We can buy more money with our dollars, and someone else has the risk to pay.
Yep.
They take on the risk to pay. That's why it's so important. So the second eye is insurance. Now, Jesse, why don't you walk and talk us through any comments, questions, concerns over here?
I mean, there's one that's interesting to me,
Go
for
ahead.
sure. Just because somebody's jumping in, it's relevant and it's not relevant at the same time, depending on micro versus macro level, perhaps. They're saying money is not actual, like gold and silver. Gold and silver is the comment. And if I agreed with you, here's the point, though, I would say. I bet you still use these for groceries. I bet you still pay for your vacations with these. So we can feel the way that we want about this fiat currency, and I get it.
Right.
Okay, but
Here's the thing. You need to, sure, you can operate and hold money, real value, like gold, silver, other precious metals.
Whatever you want.
But you got to do exchange in currency.
Right. You still go make that exchange.
You
They're
gotta do
still
exchange
selling
in
gold and
currency.
silver
Yes.
for these.
100%. You still got to do the exchange.
You can do both. You can do
in
both.
this. So, we're down with that.
You
We're
can do
down
both.
with that.
We're going to
idea.
get to investing
Sound
here in
money.
a second.
I love
too.
it. Okay. From Liz over here, one of our coaches on the YouTube channel. Remember, you can
Question
follow
for
us
the class.
at
Ooh.
the Cash Compound on YouTube. Oh, question for the class. All right, we're asking you, how does whole life insurance protect our income? We went over this a little bit earlier today. Can we get anybody out there to give us that? Because she jumped ahead of us. It's a great question. What type of insurance are we going to buy? And Jesse, why don't you give us the 3-cup setup here?
Sure.
I'm going to loan you 50.
Sure.
And why don't you see if you can answer Liz's question while you break down the process?
Yeah. So again, the question is, how does this particular insurance, whole life insurance, we're going to talk about whole life insurance, protect income? Well, I would say that we all experience that first eye. That first eye is income in whatever way that we experience it. When we decide that we're wanting some financial independence and freedom, I believe it leads us to considering banking. Again, we're talking about the idea of becoming your own banker, infinite banking, saving and spending your money at the same time. Saving and spending money at the same time. We do that with our incomes. Save some of it, spend some of it. Here's what it looks like. If we put a portion of our cash flow into this system, this insurance system, this whole life insurance, the dollars that we pay are premium. So that's us saving money. In fact, it's going to be us compounding money, we're going to see. But when we do that, when we put premium dollars in, it creates for us this death benefit. That's the coverage. That's the protection. So that's us protecting that income. So the first I was income, getting insurance on our lives. The person that creates the income, that's pursuing the career, that's building the business. With whole life insurance, it's called whole life for a reason. We've got this guaranteed protection our whole life. It's not
doesn't expire,
uncertain
doesn't
that we're
term
going to
out.
pass. Right. Like whenever this happens, there's
Yep.
going to be this payday for our heirs, beneficiaries, whoever we designate to replace that income that they would have experienced otherwise with us. And when it's been built this way to save and spend your money at the same time, that means that, pay attention, Jadu, I'm pulling this money from this cup. This is really important. Some people miss it. Can you believe some people
You
miss
can't
this?
trust the internet.
Some of this becomes immediately, and I did say immediately. My definition of immediately is within 30 days of this policy being set up, is immediately liquid, accessible, usable. You can get to this for some of these future I's that we're getting ready to talk about. But again, first I is income. We suggest that you consider putting some of your income into this private piece of property that allows you to save and spend your money at the same time because it gives you this death benefit, tax-free windfall. That's the insurance. That's the protection on your income. And then it also allows you to do some other things, which would lead us to the third I.
Let's go. But we're not going to go there yet. We do want to answer Liz's question, I think, and make sure that any of these comments, questions, and concerns get talked about. And we want to know what are the benefits? Why would we use whole life insurance to protect our income? There's a big, long list, and we have an official list here. We call it the ideal asset because we have 8 specific things that we like to talk about a lot that this type of asset provides for your income. But anything out there on TikTok we should check in with?
So there's one thing that we could touch base on. Apple user says you buy life insurance. You can borrow from your insurance, but you still have to pay it back with interest. We're a little short. So we're that's actually going to be the third I is interest. So we're wanting to talk about that.
Well done. Good stuff. So Liz, if you're still out there, I want you to list the 8 ideals. We don't have that particular slideshow up, but around here at the Cash Compound, we have 8 ideals from this asset. Why whole life insurance? Can you give them to us? List them out. We'll go list them one at a time, and then we'll talk about them. So you can keep thinking as we talk about why whole life insurance to protect the income. I wonder how quickly it will, if she's still there. I wonder how quickly it'll populate. Yeah, I don't know.
I was trying to think of the one that she said earlier today.
Which one did she say?
That's what I was trying to recall. Well, I wrote it down. Of course I did.
Of course you did.
Of course I wrote it down.
Jesse's
she
trying
said
to remember
it's private.
Stuff. Private. Okay,
she
that's
says
one
a
asset.
private
You
piece
mentioned
of
that
property
one as well. So I'll jump in with that one. Remember, whole life insurance, ladies and gentlemen, is a private asset. This type of insurance is yours to claim. Okay? So what that means is your bank account can be levied against. And that is a public asset. You've put it inside someone else's control or jurisdiction, a regular bank. It's out there in the open. Your property, unless in certain types of private trusts, that's public reference. People can see it. People can get to it. People can sue you for it. That is not how whole life insurance works. It's private property owned by you. It is not a government program. Life insurance, TikTok, is not a government program. It is with a private company when we're utilizing it for from a mutual environment. That's a big one. Okay. She says it's safe. You take that one, Jesse.
Yeah. Well, safe. Well, I'm trying not to use some of the words, and she's still typing some others out that I don't want to cut her off by saying so. Safe in that, I mean, you're the one that maintains control over this. Like often we'll talk with folks and they already think they know some things about insurance, and they do. They know some things about insurance, but maybe it's something that they have with an employer and it's not theirs and it's not under their control. It's not been built the way that we're talking about being built right here. So a big part of safe is going to be tied in with the guarantees, in my opinion, the guarantees that you have here.
Love it. Okay. Guarantees. It is safe. So what I would say is that it's not an investment. It's another way to say it.
Right. Not exposed to risk.
Not exposed to risk.
That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
Okay. We've got 2 of our ideals so far. Why whole life insurance for our savings. The third one she's got up here, liquidity. All right, Jesse, or is that one me? Is that one you?
Well, I mean, again, we already did the 3-cup setup. So the liquidity is right here in the cash value. So you can immediately leverage your cash value for the things that you're doing in life. Today, we've been on the phone with folks who are doing things like paying off debts, who are doing things like financing their businesses. Maybe they need equipment in their business and all different kinds of stuff. These policies are built to have that early liquidity, a significant early liquidity.
Love it. Okay, that's 3. 4, inflation protection. Inflation protection.
Yeah, you do it.
I'll take it. Ladies and
too.
gentlemen, the dollars that you put inside life insurance must grow into a larger pool. So there is going to be an immediate windfall for your family one day, but there is liquidity that continues to get higher and more liquid every month and every year. The reason for that is because the dollars that we put in the red cup in our example here in premium, the dollars we give the insurance company have guaranteed growth on them. It's a part of the contract. The dollars that you pay by the insurance company's money, your family's covered, and there's more and more growing liquidity for you. Inflation protection. Remember, inflation is normally, when the government is not going cray, 3 to 4% a year. The last couple of years, we've gotten up to 7 plus, something like that. I think we're kind of down to 5, 4 right now. I don't know, something like that. But your dollars saved in a regular bank, a conventional environment, are not inflation protected. The buying power is waning. It is going backward all the time. You guys got that one? That's number 4. Jesse, number 5.
Small.
Tax-free
Tax-free growth.
Tax
Yeah. So the tax advantages. All right. So money that's in this system, because insurance predates the IRS, the tax code. The dollars that you pay in premium are assumed to already be taxed dollars. So that means once the capital has entered this environment, you can have tax-free access to this compounding pool of capital. And of course, at the same time, this death benefit will always be paid out tax-free. So tax-free access to a compounding pool of capital during your whole life, and it culminates in a tax-free windfall to the next generation or your heirs or beneficiary. So lots of tax advantages for sure.
Love it. Okay, so these next ones, I'm questioning our friend Liz out there on YouTube. What's up, everybody? Jadu and Jesse on TikTok, Zoom, and our YouTube channel, The Cash Compound, right now. We're going through the 8 ideals of the whole life insurance asset, why we save our money there. And so far, we've gone through 5. We've said liquidity. We've said
inflation protection, private, safe, tax advantages.
The tax advantages. Okay, flexibility. So that's number 6. Let's talk about that one. Ladies and gentlemen, you have control. Okay, that's what that means. You have control over this one. The flexibility in your whole life insurance policy is key. You have complete control on how this bad boy is going to work and how it's going to be able to be leveraged. That is a huge deal, because if you put your dollars inside something like a qualified plan, Jesse, I think a lot of people out here are qualified plan people at work.
Yeah, I was.
Tell me about the lack of flexibility and how it's different here. Control, flexibility. What's the difference between qualified money and unqualified money?
Right. Well, risk, of course, comes to the forefront of my mind. Assuming risk, I don't know what the amount is going to be in a qualified plan tomorrow, and neither does anybody else. But when it comes to the control aspect, like you said, I mean, I just remember getting that sheet and picking between 3 settings of, hey, am I wanting to have a high exposure to risk, a moderate exposure to risk, or I mean, that's just not a lot of control. That's not really fine-tuned or dialed in my opinion.
They did all that for you, man. They just want you to teach the kids.
Right.
So Jesse was a high school teacher, so he remembers going through that himself. Now, the one entity that I worked for before becoming an entrepreneur was in its own right a startup. It was minor league baseball, but it was a startup because I was there from day one, really. And there was no qualified plans for us. So you were on your own for that long-term stuff. Maybe that's why I'm here now.
Right.
Okay. Liz is trying. She says you can leverage the policy.
Yep.
I think that one is like flexibility. So I'm
I
not
could
going to
see-
give you a
I-
separate
I
one.
could see
I'm
the-
not going to give her a separate one.
I would.
Okay.
I could see those too.
All right.
I can see those two.
Compounds forever. Didn't we already say that there was? No, did we say that?
No,
one?
we didn't cover compounding yet. I've said the word, but that's the first. It's not on any of the others.
No, okay. I think compounding counts then. Compounding. I think.
I'm telling you,
trying to remember.
flexibility and leverage are on my list. I mean, but I'm not trying to.
Well, I pulled up the
Right,
8 ideals.
the official
trying to-
8
trying to
ideals. I got
figure 'em
you.
out.
I got
Okay,
you.
the one that I think Liz has not said out there, everything else is covered. I think we've decided somehow, some way it got covered in here, would be the high savings rate.
Okay.
The high savings rate.
Okay.
Okay, so this ties into some other things, but the high savings rate is a big deal. And the reason I want to bring this
got
up
you,
is,
Liz.
haven't we all heard that it's a poor place to put money?
Oh yeah, we're just waiting for the whole life insurance is trash.
Oh, there.
guy right
Whole
here.
life
Yeah.
insurance is trash. Very good. And why is that? Can you tell us why? Is it Ryan? It's hard to see from this angle.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan says that. Here's my question: and this is a good time to talk about it because we're into the weeds of here are these 8 ideals of this that leads us to believe it's the ideal financial asset. Who buys this stuff that people would know about, Jadu? Who's somebody out there in the wide world of finance who buys whole life insurance? And by
Outside of-
somebody, I don't mean an individual per se.
The banks and corporate groups
Right.
buy this.
So that's what
guaranteed
I'm trying to tell Ryan on here, or just provoke thought. Hopefully, we're provoking thought and conversation right here, Ryan. Banks, they own more in whole life insurance than they do in real estate, than they do in buildings. I'm just saying, maybe it's a clue, right? Maybe it's a clue.
Maybe it's a clue. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a high savings rate. Did Ryan ever answer the question why? Oh, he did. Maybe.
He said
I
buy
can't
term
tell.
and invest the difference. He said buy term and invest the difference.
But did he say why whole life insurance is trash?
No, not yet anyway.
Did he?
Buy
Okay.
term and invest
He
the
said
difference.
it. I just asked him to qualify that.
Actually, we've got Apple user out here going to bat for us saying, no, I've got whole life insurance and you can borrow against it. Appreciate you.
Yeah, remember whole life insurance, we just went through, ladies and gentlemen, 8 ideals of this actual asset. So I just wonder which one is going to come up, or which 2 or 3 from whoever, Ryan or whoever, is going to say whole life is trash. Because we already know that it has guarantees, it has constant compounding, it has liquidity, it has flexibility. You're right, 2 different ones. Well done, Liz. It has passive income streams and dollars. It has privacy, and it has tax considerations and a high savings rate. So which part of those things do you not? Those are guarantees. That happens every time. That's how it works. Which one of those things is trash to you? That's what we want to know.
Right. So far, the feedback we're getting is that you should put your money in the market, which, again, we'll get to investing. Investing's the 4th eye. You're interested in investing. We might be interested in investing. But here we're saying that you can have all these other benefits on top of your investing. It's not an either or. I mean, because Ryan's jumping in here saying, well, if you're not maxing out your 401k and your IRA, whole life insurance should be tabled before then. It's not a good choice.
Those are definitely investment opportunities that you are at risk for, and you don't have flexibility. You don't have control. You don't have privacy.
Liquidity.
You don't have liquidity. So does everybody else double tap on the screen if you're understanding what we're saying as we respond to what Ryan is saying? What is the difference? The difference is we are talking about where we save our money, not where we invest it. Also, I think there's a lot better places Ryan could actually invest his money, to be quite honest with you.
No, Ryan, we actually don't work with that particular company.
Okay, ladies and well done, Liz. Well done out there for the Ask Me Anything, going through the 8 ideals. Okay. I love it. What's up? Thanks, Amari. I can't really tell, but appreciate you locking in and subscribing out there on our YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got lots of new stuff coming. We're recording stuff right now. Our producer, Will, has got new types of Facebook stuff we're going to be interacting with you on for some of our ads to make sure you understand all the possibilities to leave a legacy, to have credit lines. This is what this is about, having your own private credit line. The other one is, trouble with the bank. If you have problems filling out the bank's paperwork and going through their rigmarole and giving away your firstborn son, boom, this is how whole life insurance can help you. So we got a lot of that stuff coming to YouTube very soon. We have a podcast that drops every Friday morning. We'd love for you to see some of those interviews. A lot of times I'm interviewing and have conversations with people who actually do this process. And so go ahead and follow right here. The Banking Bros on TikTok. Appreciate you guys out here who are getting questions answered. On our Zoom call right here. Throw anything in the chat on our Zoom call. We give you guys preferential treatment if you have anything. And we've got our YouTube up. Okay, what other questions? Are we going back to our eyes? I think we're ready for interest, the third eye.
I'm good with it.
Okay, Jesse, tell us why interest is eye number 3 and what's going on here. This one can get tricky for people.
Right. And we could talk about interest coming and going because, again, at the end of the day, we're not saying that this ideal asset should just necessarily be set on autopilot. I mean, whole life, when it's been properly structured with mutual companies that pay dividends, it does what it does. It has all these characteristics that we've talked about. But what we're saying is that you shouldn't just own it, but that you can use it. And that, in fact, if you do use it, that's the focus is what if you could bank with this? What if you could finance, and going back to the F word, if you could finance with this, if you could access that cash value that you've been proactively building in this system of yours to go out and do something. Let's say you went out, and let's just take debt for an example. You went out and you paid off some debt that you had. And then that allows you to free up from your cash flows. And you begin keeping money that otherwise used to go to the car people or the student loan people or the credit card people or the debt consolidation people or whoever. And you begin to recapture that cash flow that was just bleeding out from your system. Well, Nash, in his book, in this debt example, let me give this to you. In his book, Becoming Your Own Banker, he says the average American is bleeding out 34.5% of every dollar. Okay, so 34.5% of every dollar just gone to interest to third parties. So when it comes down to interest, well, what if you could begin recapturing? What if you could begin keeping some of that 34.5%, which means that some people are spending more than that. Some people are spending
100%.
less, but some people are spending more than 34.5. So if you could begin to recapture that, here's the question: where should you put it? If you own a private banking system, if you own a system where you could save and spend money at the same time, I would say that cash flow that gets freed up should go right back in. Cup number 1, more premium, grows the death benefit, grows the cash value. You just grow and expand your system by recapturing interest that used to go to other people.
I love it. Okay. So also, when we get back into the 3-cup setup, we can talk about interest in terms of the dollars that you put in are earning interest as well. So the dollars that we put inside this system are going to be gaining ground for you for the rest of your whole life. And it's a compound interest. The definition of compound interest is your money's money making money. Okay, so we have our money that we contributed into premium. It makes money on a guaranteed annual rate.
Mm-hmm.
At a mutual company, there also could and should be dividends annually being added to this pool.
Yep.
But our dollars, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because you specifically mentioned mutual company, and Jocelyn's asking a great question here about, hey, can you help us with a company, or do we need to find a company and then speak with you? So we offer free consultation calls, link in the bio, where we connect you with these mutual life insurance companies. We help you custom construct your policy with these companies. And we're not married to one company. We work with multiple companies. So whatever matches your particular situation, that's why we offer that free consultation call.
Love it. Okay, so your dollars are gaining ground all the time. Your money's money is making money. That's what interest is all about. Compound interest is happening on behalf of your dollars. Mm-hmm. Now, in this system, remember, when we put our premium in, it buys their money. So we're actually going to see the growth in the death benefit rising in these customized policies we're set up for you. And therefore, equity or cash value must be rising. So our dollars are earning the interest, but they've bought a separate pool of money. This cup, the green one in the middle, cup 2, happens to be cash value. So these pools are rising because our money is earning guaranteed annual interest. and the potential for dividends as well, which all the companies that we work with, they don't miss on the dividends as well. So that's one side of the interest equation as well, the compound interest side. Questions, comments, concerns about that? Love your feedback that we're getting, everybody. We are going to be able to scoot through the fourth I in a few minutes really quickly, and then we'll come back and we'll answer questions and make sure you understand. All four I's is a comprehensive effect on your dollars that go inside whole life insurance used for infinite banking.
I love what another person said. They said, get whole life for your children. It's a policy you can still borrow against, and it's less expensive. Yep, absolutely.
We have policies on our children.
On all of our children.
I've got 4 kids. The Durham clan has 3, and we have realized this. We have realized it 4 in my house is it. And we're doing the same thing you're talking about. You got it. Now, we love to build big as banks as possible, but you're correct. Premium might not be as steep on a child, and that depends on your discretion.
Adult policy.
Yeah, that might be at your discretion, though. Good stuff. Okay, any more questions, comments, concerns about interest? Our money is earning, and we're being able to leverage dollars from the insurance company at the same time. There is amortized interest on the borrowing part, but our compound interest goes far beyond what we're ever concerned about getting from the insurance company in liquid, flexible cash. Unrestricted loans, baby. Okay, Jesse, let's jump into the fourth.
Yeah.
The fourth.
And it's important to distinguish that everything that we have covered so far did not include this fourth I of invest. There was not risk in what we talked about before. There was going to be that guaranteed growth and compounding and access and liquidity without exposure to market volatility. But we get it. Y'all like the market. Plenty of people do. I understand. So the fourth I is investing. Of course, folks that are attracted to this idea of financial independence and autonomy by being able to save and spend their money at the same time want to do productive money things with their cash values, naturally. So what better place to have guaranteed access to compounding capital to go out and make the investments that you do. If you love mutual funds, great, go do mutual funds. I was speaking with somebody earlier today, been approved for a multifamily. Their plan, of course, is, get this quadruplex, rent that thing. Awesome. Whatever it is that you want to do. Somebody already on here has mentioned gold and silver. You want to have gold and silver. Okay. This is what gets it. This compounding pool of capital that you have access to. Go out and get that thing. Okay. And when you experience returns, when you experience profits, when you free up some of that interest that we talked about earlier that used to go to other people or whatever from your investments, where should you put that? Well, I would say go ahead and put it back in that system that was making that compounding pool of capital in the first place. And every time that you do put money in here, that means that your death benefit goes up. That means that more of it becomes liquid and accessible. And you're just growing and scaling your system, just like you're probably hoping to do with your investments. You want to grow and scale investments. Keep building, keep getting better, keep ratcheting it up. Do the same with where you bank that capital.
I love to hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have opportunity for investment, but not before we kept our money first. We call this system the save and spend system because we need to keep our money safe and grounded, and it needs to have a home before it goes out there for opportunities for investment.
Don't spend and then save.
Don't spend and then save. Right. A lot of people are doing that. You should save and then spend, but it's very normal and natural for people in our modern Wall Street-driven world to actually try to invest first. They go ahead and spend, and they try to save if there's gain or profit on that. Many of the time, though, when they have locked their money up in that environment, it's not coming out liquid for 59 and a half years, depending on when you started working. If you started working at 0, then you have to wait 59 and a half years, right? Start working at 20, I guess you'd wait 40 years. It's also at risk in those other things. It's at risk. Investment implies risk. Investment implies a wait time. Let's do that after we've got our money in an environment that's stable, compounding, growing, private, and all those other assets we talked about. Okay? Liz is out here laughing at folks. Let's go back to stretching.
There's a lot to laugh at.
Go back to stretching.
There's a lot to laugh at.
Is there?
Yes.
Okay.
Even if it's in derision sometimes.
Okay, ladies and gents, what else? What other questions do you have here that we can get into and help you uncover or solve. If you like listening to us and you want to have a one-on-one conversation where we listen to you, you're going to want to click that link in the bio at the Banking Bros regular TikTok profile page. There's no links here. Can't click on anything here. If you get off of this page, go to our regular profile, you will very soon be in a consultation with one of our coaches. First, watch the video. It'll prompt you to do that. Write those questions down. Think of them. Ask your spouse +1, and then join one of our coaches like Jesse on that call. We'll walk and talk you through it. Shout out to Kenneth over here on Zoom, and a shout out to Derek, who are on Zoom. But Kenneth just had a policy approved. Just had a policy approved. Congratulations, my friend. I think that was earlier today.
Yeah, it was earlier today.
Okay, so Kenneth got the bug. Says, look, I'm going to become my own bank. I want to do this infinite banking thing. And Kenneth started a conversation with us. We called him. We talked through it. Jesse and I have got him to the approval status at this point, and he's going to be banking for his household very, very soon. Congratulations.
I love it. So, Jocelyn, I appreciate you coming back with the continued questions. It's a good one. So you're asking, if I take the cash value, if I want, so yes, you can take the cash value if you want, you're right so far, and pay myself back like a loan. Absolutely. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Again, if the average person's bleeding out 34.5% in interest to third parties, what if you could begin keeping some of that? Yes. Pay it back with interest just like you would have, but now you keep that instead of the banks, right? And then that last part of what you said, or it just keeps growing. Now, that's where I got to change how you worded that, okay? Because both these things are happening at the same time. Remember, Jadu has said this is a separate pool of compounding capital. So remember, every dollar that you paid in Cup 1 premium into this system grows uninterrupted, earning compound interest your whole life. That doesn't stop. And while you're having that, you still also get access to a compounding pool of capital for what you want to use it for. Make sense? That's a good follow-up question.
Okay, hopefully that's helpful for you. Was it Jocelyn you said?
Yep. She's asked a couple of good questions.
Appreciate those. Okay. Linus, what's good, man? Linus is out there, and I'm going to see him in Santa Barbara coming up by Sunday afternoon. By Sunday afternoon, we're going to be hanging out in Santa Barbara. Appreciate you being here week after week. Sooner or later, we got to get Linus on. Linus, have you done a podcast episode with us?
Did an interview with me the other day.
Okay, maybe it's time to bring that back or something. Linus is a man to be feared in this infinite banking space. He knows this stuff cold, and we always love when you join, my friend, over there with our partners at the Money Multiplier. If you guys have heard of that, go follow, check out what they got going on. We work very closely with our Money Multiplier buddies over there, and we love to see what they're doing as well. We're a very similar type operation. We just got a little bit of soul. And by that, I mean, we still have Jesse. So we have a little bit of soul.
A little bit.
A little bit. All right. He's got a beard. Linus got a beard. I ain't got a beard. I got soul. All right. All right. We're going to see you Sunday afternoon, man. Me and Jonah are going to be out there, the other banking bro. In a few minutes, we're going to wrap things up. So
we'll take another question. Thoughts on MPI and Curtis Ray?
I got thoughts.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Share your thoughts.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are on TikTok, you've probably seen a form of what looks like what we're talking about called MPI. Okay. That's a marketing term, kind of like infinite banking could be a marketing term. Okay. So what's going on behind it? What's the product behind the process of MPI? Okay. The product behind it is an index universal life insurance contract. Double tap if you've heard of IUL out there. Okay, we got some.
They have.
Okay, IUL. Have you heard of IUL out there? Indexed Universal Life Insurance. That is a style of permanent life insurance that I think personally is a misnomer, because life insurance that's called permanent shouldn't be able to expire or term out, and universal life can and often does. Okay, so that is the base product. And what's going on there is a leveraging and arbitrage strategy over and over and over and over in the MPI world. And what they're teaching is to borrow against the policy, start new policies. Borrow against the policy, start new policies. So if you can get the money working, not just in two places like we might say in whole life insurance, put your dollars in, they work for you, kick off a separate pool that me and Jocelyn and Jesse are going to go out there and invest or go leverage. So our dollars are still with us, kicking off a separate pool. What MPI is going to claim is that, hey, you can get dollars working in 3 places. And I don't believe it. I don't believe it because the IUL is too shaky of a product. Also, in many of their strategies, not every time, because if I'm being recorded out there and you know lots and lots about MPI, I think they've been able to cross this bridge or subvert the bridge or however that might be, is you're going to have to be able to qualify for more and more policies. So your age and health is going to be really affecting how well you can do this strategy. Okay, they talk about the ABC, always be compounding. So you're going to want to, the earlier you start, the better in something compounding, of course. But they're going to talk about that a lot. The next thing that I'll help you understand, ladies and gentlemen, is they are talking about retirement income, which is not the same thing as infinite banking, which we're talking about always income. They're talking about retirement income. So you've got to be able to connect the dots or separate the dots quite a bit. But if you don't understand how IUL works and how one of their favorite companies, it rhymes with Scoochwell of Bomaha, is going to set up those policies for you and with them, you're going to get lost in their system, and it's never actually been proven. They Monte Carlo'd it like crazy, but it's never been proven because IUL's only been around since 97. There's so many things going on over there. But we encourage you, maybe if you want, to watch our friend on TikTok or wherever you are, but I know it's a TikTok question. Go follow Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah.
And he breaks down the differences, similarities, misnomers, claims, and all that really, really well, even for the specifics around MPI.
Life 180.
Life 180 on YouTube. It's a great YouTube channel. Life 180. Go subscribe over there. Our friend Chris, we're buddies with him. He's often in the Dominican Republic. Where does he go all the time?
Costa Rica? One or the other.
Yeah.
An island.
Chris Kirkpatrick here. Maybe Life 180 as well. He may have two channels. Life 180 for sure on his YouTube.
Right, on YouTube. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, you're welcome, Shim, for that response. And then I had another good follow-up. Jocelyn asked, is it better to have one big, I'm paraphrasing, one big policy or multiple policies
Great
with
question.
a smaller amount? And everybody's answer is going to be different. I'm going to say, how many lives are you looking to get these systems on? Would be one way to say, well, maybe you do need more than one policy because it's a husband and wife, or you're talking about kids, or maybe you're talking about grandkids. And so everybody's situation is different, but maybe you'd want more than one policy if that's the purpose. But if you were just talking about yourself, is there a benefit in having more than one policy, but essentially for the same amount of premium? No. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
So if you and the spouse, the plus one, want to start infinite banking at the same time, all other things considered or not considered, however that should be said, and you have $50,000, it's going to be two $25,000 policies, and that's going to work very much the same way. But now you actually have life insurance coverage on two people.
Yep.
And that's going to be important. One person is likely to pass before the other. The other person would have a loss of capital and would now like that death benefit windfall. Does that make sense? Totally fine. One $50,000 premium, two 25s. Not a big deal. It depends on, well, do you have a plus one? Do you have a spouse? If you yourself, hey, let me get a $25,000 on myself and get another $25,000 on my, well, no big deal. It's not going to change much. Now, if you only have $25,000 and that's what you want to put in your policy, I'm not saying like only is not a lot of money. What I'm saying is, oh, well, in a year, why don't we start another $25,000? In 5 years, we can start another one. Now you have $75,000 of premium growing inside banking systems. It's just you couldn't have started all of that on day one.
Right. Correct. Correct. Growing and scaling this system over time. But again, all appropriate to conversations with us. So the link in the bio for that private one-on-one. You're asking good questions. Great questions, Jocelyn. Keep asking them. Jump on our calendar.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's about all the time we have today. We're going to stop 1 or 2 minutes early. Jesse will be back next week.
Yep.
We hope. We got some construction going on in the building, but from our studios in Greenville, South Carolina, we thank you for being here at the Cash Compound live broadcast for the AMA, the Ask Me Anything week. But I'm going to be with Linus on Zoom out here. Me and him are going to be at the pool next week in Santa Barbara. So I'm not going to be here, but Jesse will take things over. Remember, you can get on a free consult with our coaches right here, right now. Go ahead and find that link to our saveandspendsystem.com page, saveandspendsystem.com. That's where you are going to find our video and our walkthrough. It's comprehensive for the Save and Spend system, and you can ask questions on that free consultation call. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Liz. We love you out there. Thank you for jumping on with us. Peace out to our friends who
Jocelyn,
are now going to go
Jim.
follow the Banking Bros. Peace, guys. We'll see you. Kenneth, congratulations. We'll be talking soon.